Happy Monday, Las Vegas. This is Prep Sports Now. I'm Ray Brewer with Las Vegas Sun, breaking down everything there is to know about high school football across Las Vegas. Of course, last week we had our first podcast of the season, and it was a great one. First one we did on video. I know a lot of you guys watched Case and myself on YouTube. Sorry, this is just audio this week. You can't see my beautiful face, but thank you to everybody who commented and everybody who supports us. We are grateful for this high school football community that we love and feel like we helped create, and definitely are appreciative to be part of. Let's hop right into it. Three things from the initial week of games. I'm going to start on a little bit of a personal note. I was at Canyon Springs at Basic in Henderson. I've said time and again, there's no better place than Don Taylor Stadium on a Friday in August as the season gets started. And I'm sitting there watching warm-ups, and there's a player for Basic, number 24. And that kid looks so familiar to me, built real big. And Basic back in the day, in the mid to late 90s, when I first started covering high school football, had a big tailback, best player on the team. His brothers had played for the team, Max Ramos. So I'm watching this kid, number 24, which is Max's number, warm up, and I'm like, boy, this kid looks like Max Ramos. So the game gets going on, and it's a fun game, especially early. And, of course, there's a touchdown scored by this number 24. And the PA announcer, Byron, of course, who I know, says, oh, touchdown, Maximino Ramos. And I'm like, what are the odds? And, of course, I do some asking around on the sidelines. And it turns out the player that I was watching is the son of Max Ramos from the late 1990s. So funny how the world works out that way in high school football. And I love these follow in your footsteps of your dad, play at the school your family is known to develop at. So that's really cool. Shout out also, I was super impressed in this game with Javion Gunter, senior from Canyon Springs. Game opens with Basic kicking off. It's a pooch kick. It goes out of bounds. And I'm thinking, okay, well, great. Canyon's going to get the ball at the 40. Here we go. Football's back. We're ready to go. Canyon has them re-kick. They kick it short again. The Gunter kid gets the ball, runs all the way around the side, up the sideline, touchdown. Super athletic, super quick. Had a touchdown called back. And, of course, the Basic Wolves, they give up that kickoff. They're down 6-0. They score 35 in a row for the victory. Shout out to my guy, Javion Rose, the quarterback. He rushed for a touchdown. He threw a touchdown to Loudon Cahill, and the Wolves 1-0 on the season. Cahill, Coach Cahill's son, also kicked 2 field goals. He's the punter. He plays defense. He's all over the field. Basic 35, Canyon Springs 6, opening night, very hot out. I was sweaty, drank a lot of water when we got back. Another observation, Faith Lutheran lost its opening game on a field goal at Desert Hills, Utah. Pick 6 for a touchdown from Gavin Day, the safety that's going to University of Washington for Faith Lutheran. 101-yard interception return for a touchdown, which that's pretty cool. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, I wonder if it was like a long pass that he got in the end zone, or how did this go about? Turns out Desert Hills was on the 1 or 2 yard line, and they decided to pass. And, Desert Hills, of course, ends up winning the game. I'm able, I guess, to talk about their coaches because, of course, Desert Hills isn't part of our coverage area. But if you're on the 1 or 2 yard line in high school football, I think you got to run the ball every time, right? You've gotten the ball down there, not by a fluke. Power up, play power football, do some misdirection and get in the end zone. But why throw the ball? Why risk an error between the quarterback and the receiver? You go back to the Super Bowl if you want with the Patriots. Why didn't Pete Carroll, our guy now with the Raiders, give the ball to Marshawn Lynch? And it's just, when you get down there, get under center, run the ball, score a touchdown. Forget about getting into the shotgun or trying something cute or play action pass. This is high school football, power football. Absolutely get it done. So that's my my observation there. Game of the week. Let's go for what turned out to be the best game, and that was Las Vegas High got the opening victory against Palo Verde at Palo Verde. Great game, back and forth all the way. It was a 33-20 victory by my Kitty Cats, my Wildcats. Everybody knows I love the East Side. Christopher Fernandez, pick six of about 20 yards in the closing minutes to ice the victory for the Wildcats. Tanner Villabule was as good as advertised, had an 80-yard touchdown run. He had a long touchdown pass. My guy Stephen Bullock had a touchdown reception. Dion had a touchdown reception for the Wildcats. They start the season 1-0. Congratulations to them. Not all's lost at Palo, however. They've got a freshman quarterback, Stockton Baird, who passed for 3 touchdowns, had nearly 300 yards passing. Great start for a ninth grade quarterback. You never see that in the and you see a lot of freshmen making impacts, but not true ninth grade freshmen starting at quarterback. There's only been a handful along the way. Of course, my favorite is Anu Solomon. So Palo looks like they've got something going on there. They also have a sophomore wide receiver. So the Panthers in the top division, we'll see how that works out for them, but they do have live action with the quarterback. A new feature I'm going to do, top 3 performers from last week. Try to mention as many kids as possible, but shout out to Vincent Hales, quarterback Desert Oasis. He had 5 touchdown passes and a 48-13 victory against Slam. We talked about Slam going from the 3A to a higher classification. Desert Oasis, of course, in that higher classification, actually higher than where Slam is now. There's so many classes, forgive me if I get them wrong. Hales, returning quarterback, looks like he's primed for a great season. Desert Oasis with a 48-13 win in beating Slam. There was 2 touchdown catches from 3 separate Desert Pines receivers, 2 of which I can't probably say, Sarancino High and Delis Benice, possibly. So congratulations to Dio getting the season started the right way. Next, we got to give a shout out to Sierra Vista. They blanked Durango in a low-scoring game to open the season. Trenton Mitchell, 3 interceptions in the win. That's right, not 1, not 2, but 3. Some kids might not get 3 all season. My guy Trevion, 3 in the first week. Sierra Vista with the win. They are now 1-0 like everybody else. But way to go, Sierra Vista. Way to go, Trevion. They beat up on Durango. My next standout is from Legacy High, Maurice Collins. He had a pick 6 and a scoop and score in the victory against Losi. So shout out to Maurice Collins from Legacy. Shout out to Trenton Mitchell from Sierra Vista. And shout out to Vincent Hales from Desert Oasis. 3 guys. I guess we'll use the old NHL 3 stars theory, but congratulations to them. What about an upset? Upset of the week. I pride myself in having a good pulse of everything that's going on. Did anybody see Democracy Prep 48-0 over Sunrise Mountain? I had Sunrise Mountain winning by 21, so I was 69 points off. So all the talk about how my picks are great and I know what's going to happen. I went 9-2 in week 1. I had Faith Lutheran that lost on a field goal at the buzzer, and I was way, way off on Sunrise Mountain. Shout out to Democracy Prep. Way to go, guys. Saw a little video of that game, and they've got some dudes up front, some Jimmies and some Joes blocking. They look quick. They look potentially athletic, as we knew. And they're in the 3A, and the 3A is not like Moapa and Friends this year. Moapa lost to Beaver, Virgin lost to Hurricane, Boulder City got destroyed in Churchill County. I think those three schools combined for like 6 or 7 points to open the season. And of course, Pahrumph's kind of waiting in the wings. Everybody last week said, "Oh, you're too high on Pahrump," yada, yada, yada. Listen, Moapa's is not a shell of its former self, but they did not look like the Moapa we know. And they play at Hurricane this week. They could be 0-2 for the first time ever. Virgin Valley, they all have young players. Boulder City got crushed. Pahrumph's got live action. They played Moapa tough last year. Who knows how everything's going to shake out, but it's not, the Pirates in Overton running away from everybody. Not sure if it matters. Truckee returns a lot in the 3A. They won at Hawaii to open the season. Truckee, of course, the Northern Nevada Power. It was a small sample last week. It's kind of like week 0 in college football, right? UNLV, go Rebels. I'm a UNLV grad. They play Idaho State this week in week 0. And the next weekend, Labor Day weekend, everybody's going to be all fired up, and College Game Day is going to be on Lee Corso's last time, and we're going to get in. But only a handful of teams played. We got a big full slate this week, nearly 20 games. We're going to give you my picks and some analysis to get going. First game, and I'm just taking these right from the Max Preps order, so no rhyme or reason to who I'm talking about first. But Lowry comes in from Winnemucca to play Sloan Canyon. Sloan Canyon, of course, has high hopes. They've got a very big offensive line. They've got one kid who's committed to the University of Arizona as a sophomore. Lowry only won 2 games last year. I know Sloan Canyon gave up a lot of points. They're supposed to be improved. The defense probably still suspect because that takes a while to get going. I just don't see a team coming from Winnemucca down to Vegas and beating anybody with a Division I player. I've got Sloan Canyon 34-8. Next game, Shadow Ridge at Snow Canyon, Utah. A lot of canyons, but Shadow Ridge, the Mustangs, opening the season in St. George against Snow Canyon. Not that far of a commute. It's probably 90 minutes into St. George, especially if you're leaving from Shadow Ridge, which I always jokingly say is in Utah. This is a coin flip game. Eula Cox and my guys running that misdirection. Could be a lot of first game mistakes with the travel. I got Snow Canyon 25-23. If that game was in Vegas, I'd pick the Mustangs of Shadow Ridge, who I said last week, I think is going to be in the Final Four. Next game, Liberty at Sky Ridge, Utah. This is kind of a different scenario. Sky Ridge is one of the top, if not the top program in Utah. Well, not better than Corner Canyon, but one of the top 3 programs in Utah. Liberty's still licking its wounds from last season's losing record. Got to give the Patriots credit. They're sticking to their strategy. We're playing the best we could play and non-league play to get ready to beat the likes of Gorman. I don't see the Patriots winning this week. I've got Sky Ridge with a double-digit win. Next game, Matter East at Chaparral. Everybody's like, okay, Brewer's picking his Cowboys. He always does. Let's pump the brake. Shap's got a lot of turnover. Matter East, I love what Coach Tua does over there. I've got Matter East going into Chaparral for the dub. Don't take my Alumni Association card. I apologize. It breaks my heart. Northview at Green Valley, our next game. Northview out of California. Green Valley, of course, out of Henderson. Give me Northview. I always take the California team. By the way, Basic got a brand new scoreboard. Looks great. Not as big as Green Valley. Green Valley still has one of the biggest scoreboards in America. Next game is a a California school, St. Pius X Academy, is coming into play Sierra Vista. And it's a special game for the Mountain Lions. I got a great message this morning from Coach Raylon, who says that his offensive coordinator, Shay Fields, his dad is the head coach of the California school. They're having a big dinner Thursday night to bring both of the programs together. And they're just, they're happy to host this team. And man, what a great memory for that family to coach against your dad and to bring everybody together and break bread. And it's sometimes we look at high school football or high school sports as only what happens on the field, when it's so much more than that. It's all the team activities and parties and bonding experience and getting to be with your community. So shout out to Sierra Vista for this great idea. Unfortunately, I don't see the Mountain Lions getting a dub. A little worried about the offense. Only managed 2 touchdowns last week. Got saved by the defense. Sierra Vista trying to get things on track. They're in the 4A, so it's a very winnable scenario, but they're not going to win on Friday night. Next game, Del Sol at Western. Western, remember, got hot a little bit at the end of last year. However, the coach moved. New era at Western. My guy over at Del Sol is rocking and rolling. I got the Dragons with an opening night win. Foothill at Mojave. Mojave, the defending state champions in the Class 4A. They got a ton of confidence. They think they're going to make a splash in the Class 5A. I say not so fast. This is Foothill's second game. They lost last week to a school by Long Beach. It was 27-0 after 3 quarters. Foothill put a few late touchdowns up, lost 27-14. But I tell you what, a team that's played versus a team that hasn't played, I got the Falcons going into North Las Vegas for a touchdown victory. Next up, Desert Pines at Durango. Listen, Desert Pines has a lot of great young players. Yes, they're not the DP of past that was sending D1 kid and D1 kid and D1 kid, but there's still plenty left in the tank. This is a great spot for them to open the season. Yes, Durango's played, but they didn't score. Desert Pines ready to go. Give me the Jags. Moapa at Hurricane. Simple. It's going to be a close game. I look for Moapa to make a lot of improvements from week 1 to week 2, but this is a tough place to play, and I think the Pirates will be 0-2. All right, Reno at Palo Verde. Listen, Reno could be coming down here and playing the Little Sisters of the Poor. They could come down and play the Vegas Strong NYS team. I don't care who they're playing. They could be playing my Shap Cowboys. I am never taking a Reno school over a Vegas school. Shout out to Palo for representing Southern Nevada. Again, I love their new QB. He's a great kid. I know the kid personally, and I look forward to Palo getting it done. Next up, Legacy at Highland, Idaho. We always get some teams that go up to Idaho and play in events in Idaho, usually at is it the Kibbe Dome at the University of Idaho and Idaho State. They have indoor facilities. Tough travel for the Longhorns. Tougher opponent for the Longhorns in Highland, Idaho. I do need to give a shout out to Zayon Henderson, who went off, the running back, last week in the opener. 175 rushing yards and a pair of touchdowns for Zayon. Way to go, my brother. Next up, Bonanza at Spring Valley. Hate that the banner game is the first week of the season. Both teams will have the opening day false start penalties. Also, I know, because now I have a high school athlete, that doing the register my athlete is not easy, and some teams struggle to get all their guys ready to go. So I hate it. I got Spring Valley, Eric Dwyer, the graduate, getting a dub in his first game as head coach. The banner stays home. Next up, Canyon Springs at Clark. I've been preaching the whole podcast about the value of having one game under your belt and take the team that's played one game and yet I'm taking Clark with a close win here over Canyon Springs. Clark got a few D1 kids. I know that those guys think that this could be the best team they've had in 3 or 4 years or 5 years of coaching the program. I got the Clark Chargers to win, and I think they're going to have a good little year in the Class 4A. Next up, Milani, Hawaii at Arborview. Milani only scored 9 points last week. There's no way they're traveling from the islands to Las Vegas to play Arborview that returns its quarterback, tight end, and 2 wide receivers, all D1 guys, and there's no way they're going to score with them. Arborview with the dub. Sunrise Mountain at Boulder in our next game. Both teams struggled last week. Both teams had a hard time scoring. Both teams gave up a lot of points. I actually think this is going to be a closely contested, low-scoring running game. I've got Boulder City winning by a slim margin. Next up, Virgin Valley against Slam. Old rivals in the 3A reunite. Virgin Valley home opener in Mesquite. Give me Virgin Valley. All right, you guys got to be happy. The podcast is 21 minutes long. I haven't mentioned Bishop Gorman one time. The Gales opened the season with a local opponent. Remind me the last time that happened. I would say maybe 2008, the year before Sanchez got here. Look it up on Max Preps. Who knows? Gorman always opens with a national opponent. This year, matchmakers and everything, they asked to get the Centennial game played early. Centennial, of course, did it. Gorman's going to win by blowout fashion, running clock, but don't look bad at Centennial. I think the Bulldogs have a good team. They had a lot of success against Faith Lutheran in a scrimmage. They've won state the last 2 years, granted a lower level, and they had a few move-ins to play over there for the Bulldogs. Centennial, not as bad as what could be a 51-0 final. Gorman gets started. Of course, we're all looking forward for that modern day game in mid-September that could be the mythical national championship game. Listen, I know some of you guys think that I'm a Gorman homer. May not be true. I think that Gorman plays for Las Vegas, and I'm glad when they win a national championship, and I think they bring a lot of notoriety to some of the other teams. I wish teams like Arborview and Liberty have gotten better because they've had to play Gorman. So it is what it is. Next up, Desert Oasis at Dana Hills, California. Is it all right if I break one of my rules? I always pick the California team over the Nevada team, but Dana Hill's not a power. Granted, Dio has to go there, but, Vincent Hales passed for 5 TDs last week against Slam, and I think this game's going to be close, and I think Dio pulls it out. Give me Desert Oasis in California. Yell at me later for breaking one of my plans. Next up, Somerset at Coronado. Listen, if Coronado's one of the state's best teams, like everybody's saying, they're going to crush Somerset. Look for the Cougs to make a statement. Last game, Cimarron at Valley. Spartans ready to make some noise in the 4A. Listen, that 4A could be wide open between a lot of teams. Cimarron has got a few guys back. They also have good participation this season on the varsity. They'll have a great start to the season against Valley. Listen, folks, we had an abbreviated schedule last week. Less games to talk about. Again, thank you to everybody for listening. We wish all of our local teams good luck playing out-of-state opponents, whether that's Shadow Ridge against Snow Canyon or Liberty against Sky Ridge traveling into Utah, or Green Valley hosting North Valleys, or Sierra Vista in that family reunion game against a school from California, Moapa Valley in Utah, Legacy in Idaho, and Desert Oasis against Dana Hills, California. Go Las Vegas. Go Nevada. We're all rooting for Palo against Reno. Have a great day, and thank you to everybody for supporting Prep Sports Now.